And you know, it isn't as simple as it sounds. I have another question for you that
Sure.
is what happened to me. Also, is do you find a list of synchronicities that brought you where you are today that you feel this is being guided rather than you choose? Name one. I know you could go on forever, but
Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, synchronicities are a bizarre thing. Okay, I'll give you a synchronicity weirdness thing that, again, when I tell this story, this experience, when I talk about this, there are so many things involved, and I think that to the uninitiated, if they would listen to this, they would say, you're crazy. Yeah, you're absolutely nuts. But it doesn't change what happened.
Right.
So I'm going to tell the origin of the story first. Okay, 1972, living with my mom, Waukegan, Illinois. All right, Clearview School on Berwick in Waukegan, just outside of the Great Lakes Naval Station. Now everybody knows where I was at. I cross our yard, go across the street into the field of our elementary school, which is up on the hill, and summer day, and I'm going to play with my friends. I'm 9 years old, and I'm walking across the field, and I hear and see something right above my head. And I tilt my head up, and I look, and there is the Hindenburg right there, cruising across. And it's the ribs, it's a Zeppelin, you see the structure. I think I even see people in the windows. I hear the engines. It's silver, it's gorgeous, and it's low. I don't know, 1,000 feet, right above my head. And it's going across this giant field. And I take off running, and I'm running underneath it. Now, remember, I'm 9. I know my planes. I'm into my astronauts, right? Gordon Cooper and John Glenn and Apollo. And, I know what's going on. I chased this thing all the way across this field until it disappeared through the trees. That's the story. Okay. I drew it. I drew pictures of it. I talked to my friend John, and I thought it was the Hindenburg, right? So now I know the Hindenburg crashed. I'm saying, but that's what I saw, right? It wasn't the Goodyear blimp. It was the Hindenburg, which is different. Okay. Fast forward to last year, synchronicities. Last year, I'm sitting here in my office, and I see a picture of a Zeppelin called the USS Los Angeles. See this picture of it. And I went, wow, I saw that when I was a kid. That must have been what I saw. It was the USS Los Angeles. It wasn't the Hindenburg. So I jump on, I'm writing and I'm working on the show. I think I had Coast that night. And I look up USS Los Angeles. Something made me, and it was like this weird moment. I would have never, Miss Harris, listen to me. I would never remember this. I would never research it. It's just a forgotten memory, right? That's all it was. It was just a thing, right? Okay. I look up USS Los Angeles, and I'm hoping that I can find which ship from the United States Navy was flying over Chicago in 1972. Was it doing a drive-by? Was there some show? Was it a football game? Whatever, right? What was it doing over Chicago? And I go and look it up. And this is what I found. This is synchronicity. There were none anywhere in the world. There hasn't been a Zeppelin since 1938 anywhere in any country, period. And I'm like, what the heck did I see? And so I jump in and I research this for real. I look at every country, I look at the history, I look at all of the, aside from the Goodyear blimp, which actually didn't even come till later. There were a couple of them around, but they all said Goodyear and so forth. But a Zeppelin, a rigid airship, after the Hindenburg disaster, they were all grounded, dismantled, and never flew again. Period. Nobody had them. The United States Navy had 3. One crashed, the Akron. Another one crashed. I'll think of the name of that in a second. And the USS Los Angeles, which was taken apart in its hangar in 1938. There were no rigid airships anywhere in the world. Now, you have to ask yourself, why did I see the picture of the USS Los Angeles on that day? That forced me to go back and find out that this memory of mine represented something that I needed to go and figure out. Did I walk across the street on that summer day and see a time slip? Did I walk through some kind of portal? Was I looking at a parallel world? Was it Philip K. Dick for real, right? Did I step into the Man in the High Castle? I don't know. I can only explain the story and how I found out. And I'm telling you, when a synchronicity like that happens, and synchronicities happen all day long, if I hadn't chosen to respond to that synchronicity of seeing the picture of the Los Angeles and followed up on it, that memory of mine and that event would have stayed in the past and wouldn't have been brought forward. And now it helps me, again, research and move forward and try to figure out what's going on. I know it's a crazy story, and I don't have an explanation for it. I really don't. I still, right now, I'm looking up at the ceiling here in the bunker, imagining it going across the sky, and I can't explain it. That's a synchronicity. When things like that happen, you need to respond to it. The universe will always speak to you in the strangest of ways.
Exactly. That's the language, actually, that we have to look at. Did you ever think you'd move to Los Angeles?
I always knew I'd move to Los Angeles.
You always knew you'd move to Los Angeles.
Yep.
In other words, you kind of could know the direction you were going. Before, I could talk to you for days. You've got so many interesting things to share with us. But before we finish, could you tell the audience, because you're doing this for a reason. You're doing it. I hate the word disclosure, so I hate it. You're doing it for a passion. It's a passion that you have. What would you like to see have happen, Jimmy? What would you like to see?
I would like to see something happen that was completely out of the government's control. Completely out of the government's control. It could
like
be
coronavirus or what?
Yeah, you know what? Yes.
Would you like to see something that would bring together humanity and make them turn inward?
Yeah, exactly. It would have to be something. The reason why I say out of the government's control, you don't want to have the government put in a position to spin, right? You don't want to have them spin on it where it's absolutely out of their control. There's a lot of examples how this could happen. One would be, anonymous or one of the hacking groups out there go and do a document dump online of evidence and what the government knows. That would be out of the government's control, right? Just they can't stop it, and once it's out there, it's out there. That's one example. and it's also a possibility for sure. Gary McKinnon got so close, didn't he? I mean, he
Oh,
was
I
just
think
right there.
he was amazing. He's one
Yes,
of the
yes,
people that we underestimate. He had no agenda. He told the truth. It was an accident. He found these
right,
things. Yes.
right, right.
Yeah.
And again, out of the government's control, right? So that's one example. Of course, some dynamic flyby or something in the sky, some major event, Independence Day event, out of the government's control would be pretty amazing. But it would. That's what I would like to see happen. I don't want to see a disclosure happen from the government side where they control the narrative, where they are going to control the spin. I know that we got very, very close in December of 2017. I called those the days of disclosure, and I did a lot of special broadcasts dedicated to that. Looking back, here we are now in 2020. I would have never have thought that in 2020 we wouldn't be fully engaged in this discussion now. Where I thought that we put this UFO question to bed, and I thought that the government was finally ready to talk about it, and it didn't happen. And I kind of warned the community, and it's always for me, community first, but I warned the community, don't go all in. We're all happy right now. We're all ecstatic and we're all glowing and we all feel good. But I don't want to get my heart broken. I don't want you to get your heart broken. Let's just slow down a little bit. Let's see where this goes and where it takes us. And here we've blown through 2 more years, soon to be 3, without taking those big steps that we thought we were about to take in December of 2017. So that's why I don't want the government to control the narrative. We thought that they were going to finally be here for us. I'm a proud American. I love this country. I'm not saying negative things towards the government. I think that this is one of the biggest, not only steps forward for mankind, but it's also a huge secret that some things may need to be kept secret. And maybe they know things that they can't disclose. All right. I get that, but it's going to happen outside of their control. That's the part where they are going to have to step forward and say, okay, this event happened. Now we need to discuss this. It's going to force their hand because it's out of their control. Then maybe we'll get the truth out of them because they won't be in a position to lie or hide about it anymore. That's my take. I'm feeling pretty good about that. I think that if it moves forward where, how do I say this? We've had millions of eyewitnesses, lots of contact, lots of video, lots of photographs, my beer can experience, all of your experiences and contact that you have had. We know that, hundreds of millions of people are not crazy. So we have that part of it. We're okay there. We're comfortable in it. We need the other side of it to happen definitively so we can start to move forward. I'll leave you with this, and we can keep going if you want, but I'll leave you with this. I think that there is 2 situations. There are 2 possibilities here. And one of them, which has been spoken about a lot about intellectuals, is a statement like this. Either we are alone in the universe or we are not, right? There's no gray area. Those are the 2 situations. But if we take those 2 situations, and especially with the way that coronavirus has been dealt with today in a worldwide reaction, but if we take these 2 situations, if we find out, if the government steps forward and says, hey, we are alone. We are truly alone. There is no life out there. We have never been contacted. Anything that you have seen is our own technology. We are just telling you now, right now, there is no life in the universe. We are unique. That would end everything on this planet. Not finding out that we are not alone, because that would scare the crap out of everybody. We have no reason to live now. There's no reason to go and contact anybody. There's no reason to evolve. There's no reason to keep this planet beautiful. We're just alone. There's nothing out there. So we just might as well burn this thing down and party like it's 1999. That's what is scary. If we find out that we are not alone and that there are space brothers out there and there's a reason to evolve, there's a reason to make this planet beautiful, there is a reason to reach out, there's a reason to have a future, there's a reason to erase borders and stop war. There's something much more important out there than our little blue planet. That we would not react in a negative way. The negative way would be if we were told we are alone. Think about that. It's the exact opposite of the dogma that we have been fed. And that is my belief. We need to have those reasons to go run around with unicorns and rainbows and grow up and evolve and learn and educate and figure out a way to make friends with our space brothers and sisters. It's really that simple. There's a reason to have a future. The other way, we're alone in the universe. There's no future there for us. Who cares? That's my take.
Well,
there you go.
Thank you for your take and thank you for your passion. And I want to remind everybody that we're going to have a conversation with you on stage in Laughlin, Nevada, because you're going to be with us in Laughlin. Yeah, and we're going to give you an hour time to interact with the audience and talk about your passion. And this is November 4th through 6th at or is it 6th through 8th? It's 6th through 8th. What am I saying?
5th through the 8th.
I know, it's been a long time. I can about November. I can hardly think about November, but the thing is that this is going to be important because it is a conference on artificial intelligence. So we're going to be avant-garde in the conversation. And Jimmy will be with us, and it'll be like we'll have fun discussing this together. It'll be a great balance and international speakers. So thank you for giving us the time today. I could talk to you for hours and days, but you know, I know how busy you are, and I'm even shocked you said yes to this.
No, stop.
No,
I
really.
couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for this. I was so nervous last night.
No.
See, and and this is what is so great, that our audience loves you. Everything that you have done for the for years and years and years is your presence, your face, representing this community. Everybody loves you, and your hanging out with our radio audience means so much. And how do I say this right? I'm just going to say it. Can I put it out there? This planet is going through a crisis, a real rough patch, a paradigm shift, an opportunity to assess and maybe change our ways and things. A lot of events have been canceled, and I'm talking about not only sports but concerts and public gatherings, and the world has been shut down. It's an opportunity now for Starworks and you to not only get together, but at the end of the year in November in Laughlin, you're going to have a lot of people coming out of their homes with cabin fever, starving for not only companionship and friendship, but knowledge. And you are just in a position to have one of the great events that not only that you've ever had, but the UFO community and the awakening community has ever had. And it's an opportunity right now for all of us. So I thank you. It's going to be great. Starworks USA, everybody, just go there. Yes, I'm going to be there. My wife Rita's going to be there. We're going to have
Yeah,
our
we're gonna
fade to
have
black.
some fun with the robots. It's November 6th through 8th.
Yeah, I've got the robot right here. Hold
Yeah,
on.
I know. I've got to get my head together here because you captivated me. Oh, you got that? Guess what I got? Okay, I got one too.
Oh, check that out.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. This was a gift from Paula. Check it out.
Yeah,
I
that's
got the remote, but there.
And I got a remote for this guy, and he'll be in the lobby too. So.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Jamie,
That's crazy.
thank you
so much.
And anytime you want to come back and just gab, I'd like to hear more about your story. I think one day you're going to probably write a book about your life. So that would be good so that we find out what a guy like you thinks. So it's great to hear you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It's jimmychurchradio.com, Fade to Black. Tomorrow, is it tomorrow's Friday? No, tomorrow's Thursday. Friday, I'll be over at Coast to Coast, and there's no rest. You know what George said to me one time? He said to me, this is many, many years ago, 7 years ago, he said, I said, George, when do you sleep? And he looks at me. He goes, sleep is for sissies, man. Sleep is for sissies. And he's absolutely right. He said to me, he said, Church, never take your foot off the gas. Just never stop. You've got an opportunity here in front of you, and just take it, run with it, and never ever stop. And I've taken those words of advice to heart. And Rita and I have chosen we have taken off a few days in the last 7-8 years. That's it. We work 7 days a week for the community. And there you go, just like you. So thank you so much. And we'll see everybody not only here again, but November 5th.
On Fade to Black.
Which happens here in a few hours. So
yeah,
there you go.
Well, don't take your foot off the gas, Jimmy. Don't take your foot off the gas.
I think I'm going to take a nap.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.